And as you change what teachers do in classrooms, you will have no impact on student outcomes. And most of the professional development we've had in this country over the last 30 years has been designed to change teachers' thinking. Basically, we've been trying to get teachers to think their way into a new way of acting. And what we're going to focus on today is getting teachers to act their way into a new way of thinking. The short cycle stuff improves your classroom practice and improves student engagement. Now, what is formative assessment? Well, we've been trying to think about how to communicate this effectively, and it seems to us there are three key processes: where the learners are in their learning, where they're going, how to get there. Nothing very radical there. Think about the role of teachers, peers, and learners. Cross those two dimensions, and you get this chart here. So we think there are 5 really central strategies. One is clarifying and sharing learning intentions. One is engineering effective discussions, tasks, and activities that elicit evidence of learning. Providing feedback that moves learners forward. Activating students as learning resources for one another. And activating students as owners of their own learning. Now, those probably seem slightly familiar or connected to what you know about. The point is that these are much broader notions than people typically talk about. People typically talk about questioning, about feedback, about self-assessment, and peer assessment. For me, self-assessment is important, but it's only part of activating students as owners of their own learning. There are other important things like metacognition, thinking about managing your emotional response. Learning is hard, and the resilience that the best students acquire in the face of failure is an important part of becoming an effective learner. Activating students as learning resources for one another goes way beyond just peer assessment. It's also peer tutoring and collaboration, supporting each other as learners. Providing feedback that moves learners forward. That's really important. Most feedback, even in the best schools, even when teachers write comments rather than give scores and grades, is actually the view through the rear view mirror rather than the view through the windscreen. It's what was wrong with the last assignment, but they're never going to do that assignment again. The best feedback takes out of the last assignment what the students need to feed into their next assignment. It's very hard to do, but it's the stuff that makes a difference. I flew back from Glasgow a couple of weeks ago, and I'm very glad the pilot did not navigate the way that most teachers assess. Because if he had, what he'd done is said, right, Glasgow, due south, flying time of approximately 55 minutes, and after 55 minutes, he would actually set down at the nearest airport and say, is this Heathrow? And the person on the ground says, no, it's Gatwick. And the pilot says, sorry, you've got to get off because I've got another job to go on to. Because that's what we do, isn't it? We teach kids stuff, and at the end, we test them. And if they've done well, we say great. If they've done badly, we say, don't worry, we'll do it again next term. Yeah, because we do, don't we? Go around and around the same stuff. For most kids, not so much as a spiral curriculum as a circular one. So rather than doing that at the end of learning, why not do what the pilot did? Plan a course, but then take readings as you go and change course as conditions dictate. This is not rocket science, but it's about those small cycles. It's about how often should you do formative assessment? Not more often than once every minute. It's that kind of very short cycle. Am I on target? Do the kids get it? Shall I move on now?